Hold on, y'all. Figure this out before we even get started. Let's make sure is it just song skipping? Sound like it's good now. We straight? Cause I'll be damn. We gonna get on here in this tripping this early. All right.
Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. We stream it live on YouTube. And of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Week 3, ladies and gentlemen, it's in sight. And it's Wednesday. That means we're breaking it down. Myself and one of the GOATs, Akoye Media, will be joining us later on in the show to break down Cowboys defense against that Cardinals offense. And I can't wait to tell y'all what the title of this video he sent me said. I'm telling you, man. He ain't lying, though. He ain't lying. We got Akoye in the green room. We will wrap with him later on. Not actually, it's not going to be that far. Probably at the top of this hour, we'll get into the roundup. Not a whole lot to talk about in the roundup. It's actually a fun roundup, so that'll be cool. But I'm not sure about the phone lines yet, okay? I do have them sitting there. But normally, when me and Akoye get to rapping about anything ball, we talk and we go. So this might be one of those shows where we do not have the phone lines open, and that's cool. We got a couple other days to get the phone lines to go. But I promise you, when it comes to the film, when it comes to looking into these teams and kind of the behind the scenes of these teams and all the X's and O's, you kind of just want to just listen when it comes to Akoye Media. So make sure y'all come through as we got him in the green room, in the back, ready to go. What's good, Bomb Squad?
Bomb Squad!
Yes, indeedy. Now, before we move forward here, because we had some issues prior, audio check. We good here? Audio check from my side. Am I too loud, too low? Not good enough? I know we had some skips going on with the music, but I don't really care about the music at this point. We just want to make sure you guys can hear us once we come on here. So if I got good audio, give me a thumbs up. Too low? Okay. See, that's why I'm asking you. That's exactly why I'm asking you. Okay, here we go. Don't worry about it. We're gonna fix all that. Check, mic check. How we feeling now, man? How we feeling now? Got the gain up a little bit. Too loud, too low. Clean y'all ears. Hey, AZ said, don't hit the table. Every time I hit the table, something crazy do happen. So I make sure I chill a little bit. All right, a little louder. All right, we good. Let's get into it then, Cowboys Nation. Let's hit this roundup, and then we're going to break down this Cardinals game.
It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time. It's time.
It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you, Cowboys Nation. Yesterday, and shouts out to Micah, man. He unbelievable how he's able to kind of juggle all these things in his life, managing to have fun, do his own thing with his podcast and whatnot, do some interviews, and still be that hungry lion that he is on the field. He joined Pat McAfee's show yesterday, right? And it was a great interview, by the way. Go check that interview out after our show, of course. But he talked about his celebration. I hit up Mama Parsons a couple weeks ago and said, tell Micah that cross celebration is goated. Like, he has to keep that. In fact, add on to it. So Pat McAfee asked Micah Parsons about his cross celebration. And this is what Micah had to say about it, man. Just listen to this guy's mentality.
Hey, that on all fours crawl. Awesome. Hey, you're moving, bro. You are moving on that. You work on that?
Yeah, I've been working on it all camp. So, like, I was like, this year coming in, I was like, yo, I hope y'all know, like, I'm, like, possessed this year. Like, I hope everyone's ready to work. I hope everyone's ready for this line mentality. Like, I be going around the locker room growling at people. Like, I'm out there jumping around. I'm growling at Dak before, and Cam. Like, I hope y'all ready for this shit, bro. Like, I'm going to kill you today. Like, I'm hunting you. Like, I'm letting everyone know, like, so when they see it, they're like, man, like, this dude's really nuts. Like, especially some of the rookies, it's funny, them seeing them coming in, it's like, bro, you really like that? I was like, you ain't even really seen nothing yet. Like, he's like, you really a possessed lion? I'm like, yeah, bro, like, I'm crazy. Like, I'm throwed off. Like,
this kid's coming into the NFL going, what the fuck? Yeah. They got an actual animal in here. Have you seen this guy? He's on all fours. He's barking. This guy's running and barking and growling at people.
Yeah.
And then he's faster, stronger, more agile than literally everybody else on the field.
Michael Parsons is a menace, and I love it. I love it. I've said this for a while, and maybe I'll talk about this with Akoye. He quite literally has changed the entire culture of this team because of his mentality. He makes everybody have to rise to his level, and Akoye will appreciate this, and Marvel fans will appreciate this. I talked about Iron Man 3, and this one clip from the Mandarin, when he said this, I just tend to think about this, and sometimes I'll just say this around the house just being goofy, and Michelle hates it, but this is how I feel when I think about Micah, man.
So run away, hide, kiss your children goodbye, because nothing, not your army, not your red, white, and blue attack dog can save you.
Nothing can save you from this man. Somebody asked in the chat a couple days ago, well, if you were the Jets or if you were the other team, how do you stop Micah Parsons? Simple answer, you can't. You just can't do it, man. God, I love this guy. Let's get to the sounds of the sideline. These things keep coming out, and I don't know if other teams do this or not, but I appreciate these things. I think it brings us closer to the team. I come away every single time watching these things saying, man, I love this team, just because you see some of the behind the scenes stuff. You see some of the conversations, and sometimes you'll catch a little X and O. Sometimes you'll catch some type of motivational speech that's happening, but I feel like these things bring us closer to the team. And I want to ask you guys, what was your favorite moment? One of my favorite moments during that was, and Koye's not going to be able to hear this, but y'all will, was Brian Schottenheimer waltzing through Lunda Wells and I think it was Luke Schoonmaker's conversation and just, let's go. Like Brian Schottenheimer's energy. I'm going to let y'all just take a look, man.
Keep the damn football. I have kids one day? Yeah. Kids gonna need a damn football. Oh, great job!
I'm gonna celebrate.
One more time.
Keep the damn football. I have kids one day? Yeah. Kids gonna need a damn football. Oh, great job!
I'm gonna celebrate.
Y'all know how I feel about Shotty, man. It's just something about his energy. He gives me some of that Dan Quinn aura, that Dan Quinn vibe for an offensive coordinator. And he did that a couple times to the point he started to remind me of, you remember the robot man from Dave Chappelle? He just pop up out of nowhere and just start doing the robot. Like Brian Schottenheimer was just popping out of nowhere in that video. Good job. Let's go. And I love that energy. This team is definitely taking shape of its coaching staff everywhere. Offense, you got Shotty and McCarthy. Defense, you got Dan Quinn. Special teams, you got Bones. And it ain't like you got some bums running this team. You've got proven guys. Super Bowl winning head coach, offensive play caller. Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator, and who's also been to the Super Bowl. Bones Fossil, known to be the best special teams coach in the league. This team is taking shape of its coaches, man. It's lovely. You already had the talent. Now you got the coaches. What were some of y'all favorite moments, though? I like that part. I liked I think it was J-Ron. J-Ron had some speeches. They said, what do you say? You can't be with. You can't be with. You definitely can't be with. Let's go. Like J-Ron curse, or as Akoye said, J-Rock is another one of those vocal leaders who brings it on the field. This team is full of dogs, man. This team is full of dogs. And for those who may have been left over from the JG era, you have no choice but to adapt, right? You can't be the one left out not being physical. You can't be the one left out not giving it 110. You can't be the one left out getting chewed up by these dogs. It's funny. We talk about this lion mentality, this pack mentality. If you know about packs, if they sense any weakness, you gone. You're not in the pack anymore. And I feel like this team is making everybody rise up to the occasion, man. And I feel like there's no better person to talk about all this with than my guy, my brother, Akoye Media. What's good, man?
Yo, what's up, Brody?
What's happening?
How you doing, man? Appreciate you having me again, man. They grinding me up for that hotel in the chat. I ain't in the hotel no more.
We ain't
man.
in the
I'm
telly.
home now.
No, we ain't in the telly.
I'll be in the studio next week, but I'm home today.
And look, we don't need the pleasantries of appreciate. You here, dog. You ain't a guest no more. You can come right on and get some Kool-Aid.
I do so much talking to myself when it comes to football and breakdowns. I like chatting it up with people who actually know what they're talking about. So when I say I appreciate you having me, I definitely mean that, bro. It ain't a gracious thing. It's not a happy to be here thing. It's just I like talking football with other cats, man.
I'm the same way, man. I do a solo show 5 days a week, and I talk to my bomb squad. But at the end of the day, when you go back and you watch yourself, you're like, damn, do I talk too much? But you forget, I got to. You know what I'm saying? Got nobody else to talk to.
You held a whole hour and a half down by yourself, brother.
Facts,
no
man.
breaths, no nothing.
No nothing. No drink. No. Somebody one day was like, bro, do you go to the bathroom? Nah.
No. Ain't no time.
Ever. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't no time, man.
But what's good with you, man? How you feeling coming off of this Jets victory?
I feel good. I feel good. I think there's still more to come. I think we're going to get our real test. Everybody knows, not to look ahead or too far ahead, but we're going to get our real test in week 5 against the 49ers. But I love the Jets game more so because of the style of the team. Like Salah has a similar style and scheme to the 49ers now. So it was a good look as to how we were able to attack them. And that's a good defense, top 5 defense, in my opinion. How we were able to attack them, I think we can mirror some of those things against the 49ers. So it was good to see that we actually learned from our mistakes in that game offensively, more so than I wasn't surprised by the defense.
Right.
And to be honest, the defense actually did its job when it comes to, it was more impressive to me because they didn't get out to a 14-point lead. They did their job in regards to keeping the game close without the turnovers and the scores until the fourth quarter. So I think, that was more impressive to me than the Giants win because they got their turnovers, but they got them late. So it wasn't like we're playing with a lead for the entire game and we know what it is from the jump. I like that aspect of it.
Yeah, I thought coming out of this, I don't know, national media, maybe our own fans, maybe we didn't necessarily appreciate what happened offensively because that Jets defense is for real. And apparently we got the nation questioning that Jets defense now. But even if you watch, you still see the physicality and the talent on that side of the ball. And I love how you said it was kind of a precursor to what we may see in week 5. And I'm not trying to jump too far here, like you said, but there's only like 4 of these defenses we're going to run into this year. You just ran into one of them.
Yeah.
Maybe 4. I don't know. I might be saying 4, but it only might be 2 or 3, and you playing with one of them every day in practice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, can't deny that, can't beat it. When we look online or we listen to some of the narratives in the media, you hear people talking about how the Jets aren't that good. They just beat what everyone's touting as a top 3 quarterback in Josh Allen week 1. And you could say it was because he didn't have preseason. You could say for whatever reason you want to say it is. Yeah. They definitely look pretty good against him. So for us to come out there and put up 30 on that team that I don't think anybody scored 30 on them since I think September last year. So for us to do that was impressive to me. And it wasn't a fluke 30 where we got a kickoff return or a punt return or some cheesy touchdowns. It was really methodical offense. I wasn't mad at the field goals either, even though people were criticizing for that, because I feel like our young kicker definitely needs those reps and needs that experience. And also, you take in what the defense gives you. That's not a defense that you're just going to run up and down the field on and put 50 up on. So that 30 to me against them is worth 50. You know what I mean? It's worth 50. Putting up 30 on the Jets is like putting up 50 on anybody else.
You a concept guy like myself, and usually we put on this film, we're kind of studying tendencies and things like that. Is it just me, man, or is this night and day when it comes to the process of what we're doing offensively compared to years past? And we were led to believe, oh, not much is going to change, bro. This is an entirely different offense.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think you know that. I've been screaming about it all off season, but when I got a good look at Schottenheimer's scheme, I was impressed and I was excited, but I still didn't know how it was going to gel with what Mike McCarthy was going to do too. So I think that McCarthy, Schottenheimer, and I call it the triangle offense. McCarthy, Schottenheimer, and Dak are they're like a match made in heaven. All three of those guys, because it gels. I've been saying to people who want to criticize Dak and say that he's not an elite quarterback. I say that I've been saying he doesn't have to be. He just has to be a field general that kind of drives the ball in there when we need it. And I think they've set him up to be that type of guy this season where, we know what Dak can do with moving guys around, moving safeties, looking guys off, throwing guys open now. He's doing a lot of that now, but he doesn't have to do it for 4 quarters every game because, that just does that. No quarterback has, when you really look at some of the top guys. Like Tom Brady was happy to throw the ball to James White as many times as he could if he needed to, you know what I mean, until those things downfield opened up. And Aaron Rodgers is happy to hand the ball off or, throw short slants all day to Devontae if he had to until some of those things opened up late. But in those crucial moments, you want your quarterback to be able to stand up and step up. And I think if you're asking Dak to take all of the, the excitement and high flying and thrilling play that he had to exhibit under Kellen Moore and just squeeze it in the moments, I think that makes him better because you're saving them and you're saving this offensive line too, not asking them to, sit back there and protect for 4 quarters. You're letting them hit guys. So the pace and the tempo, the switch up, the progressiveness of this offense. And I still have seen plays from Schottenheimer when I was studying his film that I can see them teeing up for. So they're setting film up right now for counters. Yeah, for counters later on. I can see it because I'm like, why didn't they throw that? Oh, I know why they didn't throw that. It'll be like easy touchdown or, in the goal in the red zone. I saw a couple of plays where usually Schottenheimer would go somewhere else with the ball and they hand the ball off or they throw it to another target. So I said, why are they doing that? And it's because when people start trying to take that away, they'll start countering with the stuff that I've seen on film already. So I'm excited about it. I love it.
He said Schottenheimer and McCarthy talked about this a lot early on in the offseason, talking about family of plays, right? We're building a family of plays to have things to build off of. And I thought you saw it in the first game. Ooh, okay. We're seeing something here, but there's a counter from this. And McCarthy came out and said, hey, y'all, I promise there's a pass out of this, or I promise there's a B plan out of this. But there was just no need to really go all out in that first week. And honestly, wasn't no need to do it in week 2 either, if you really think about it.
Yeah, might not be no need to do it in week 3 either when you look at it. To be honest with you might not need it this week.
Hey, you wild boy, man. What was the title of the video you sent me when we was breaking down this offense?
I said they better not lose to this dude, man. I said, who is? I know, I know we played Josh Dobbs last year when we was playing the Titans. We played him, but I never looked at him. Football, you got a helmet on. I never looked at the kid, man. I looked at him today. I just said, let me find a picture of. I said, what? That's it. No, they got to be like a meme. And I found another picture. Bro. I said, that's not a meme either. Oh, shit. I said, we better not lose to this dude. He looked like Charlie Villanueva or like I said, the Space Jam All-Star monster, man. Like, dude look crazy, man.
When y'all see this picture, man.
And he an engineer, too, so he's smart. He's a smart dude.
He's smart, yeah.
But he looked crazy, man. He looked crazy. I'm like, dang, no eyebrows.
Stop, hey, bro, stop. That might be a condition, so we don't want to eyebrow shame.
I don't know.
I don't even got
no eyebrow shame.
No eyebrow shaming. We let's bring it back to the field. But yeah, he
right.
He is a little. Bring it back. The Charlie Villanueva con crazy though. I wonder if they are related. But let's bring it back to the field real quick, man. Cardinals. I'm sorry, y'all. Cardinals offense.
Go ahead, man.
So I just want to just tee it up real quick, man. They got a first-year offensive coordinator, Drew Petzing.
Yeah.
And me and you were like, when we watch these teams, I go look at these coordinators, go look at maybe a history or a system.
Yep.
And he doesn't really necessarily have anything. This is his first year under Gannon, who was a defensive coach, right? Former Eagles defensive coordinator, and they're giving the offense to Drew Petzing. And I said this on Twitter. I said this to you behind the scenes. I do like the concepts. I watched the Giants game, and I said I like these concepts I'm seeing early on. But I just don't think they have the dogs, right, to match up. They've got players. Don't get it twisted. They've got some guys who are good. James Conner, Zach Ertz is a guy. Hollywood Brown has speed. Rondale Moore is a guy in the slot that can do some things. So they've got this is the NFL, bro. Every team has players. And Joshua Dobbs is completing a high rate. And I'd imagine, as you were about to put on film here, we know why. He's getting the ball out faster, putting him in great position to succeed. And then obviously James Conner so far is top 10 in the league in rushing yards after 2 weeks. So there's some nice things to like about what you see, but I just don't think they got enough horses to roll with the Cowboys defense, Akoye, before we, obviously break it all down.
Yeah, I agree. I felt like a lot of the things that, and this is why I don't like stats. I like to look at the film, because when you look at Dobbs, he's not turning the ball over a hell of a lot. And like you said, he's getting the ball out fast. But when you watch the film tells a different story, because if he doesn't have a option on that first read, he's really a one read guy that has a clock in his head. And most running quarterbacks are like that. Yeah. But he's a one read guy with a clock in his head. And he reads that first play, and then he'll either extend the play by moving around outside the pocket, or he's running. He's out. He is tough, but I think a lot of the things that work for him work against him when he plays us. And I mean, running the ball, lowering your shoulder, like he's jumping over guys, lowering his shoulder, trying to like ram guys. And I'm like, that's not a good look when you playing us. I mean, I would love to see him do it 5-6 times this game. That would be great. Even if he gets some yards out of it, it would be worth it to be able to put a hat on him. But also the fact that he's a tight window throwing quarterback, and that's usually a gift. That's great. But when you got the corners that we have, the safeties that we have, all these ball hawks on this team, that I get happy when I see those tightly contested passes that he's willing to throw, play in, play out. I'm like, you're not going to do that 20, 30 times against us. I guarantee it. So some of the things that work for him, where you would say these are qualities, they work against him when he plays us, I believe. And that's not me being, hey, he's playing the Cowboys. It's just the personnel that we have. You don't want to throw tightly contested passes at Gilmore or at Diggs or at Bland or Kirk, any of these guys really in that secondary. You don't want to put that ball out there blind, and he does that a lot.
And he's a little bit reckless when he gets You're right. It's definitely taking it nicely, but especially when he's pressured. I think, and look, man, this Giants defense, it's bad, bro. I mean, I'm watching this here, and I'm just like, Wink can't cover it up this year. I don't think it's happening.
Well, Wink never is going to cover it up. Wink is a Dom Capers, Dick LeBeau type. Right? He's zone blitzing all day, so he knows that if you guess correctly at the right time, it's going to be somebody open somewhere if you're looking in the right direction when he's coming hot. But he's just hoping to get home, and that's what's really making this defense look pedestrian, is that they're not getting home up front as much as they should. They're not getting the pressure they need to get. And if they were, I think they would have more success on the back end, because it would cover some of that stuff up. But when you're rushing 6, rushing 5, and you're bringing zone pressures, and they're not getting home, it looks bad.
Yeah, and last year the Giants were a top team in creating pressure, generating, and they mostly came from scheme because they didn't have enough guys. They got guys now, but those guys aren't getting home, and they didn't sack Josh Dobbs not one time. However, if you go back and look at the Washington game, because I wanted to go look at how he was pressured when he was pressured. Washington and the Cowboys are tied for the league in sacks. The Cowboys lead the league in pressures. The Washington football people are 8th in pressure percentage.
The people.
They 8th in pressure percentage, and they got the Dobbs 3 times, and they forced a fumble twice. So I'm like, Washington and the Cowboys have a top-tier pass rush. The Giants don't. Go look at Joshua Dobbs in those games. Dobbs was
Right.
just all over the place in week 1 against Washington, dealing with that pressure. Dallas has the best pass rush in the National Football League, be it from scheme, players, whatever. He will not have a single down where he can just rest, and breathe. There won't be, because our second and third team coming in waves are going to be coming after Joshua Dobbs, and Dan Quinn isn't letting up. So whatever he's doing with that first unit, he can do with the second unit. He can do with the third unit. And as smart as he is, he ain't Tom Brady smart. He ain't Joe Burrow smart. If Dan Quinn can trick Tom Brady and Joe Burrow, if Dan Quinn can, show you one thing pre-snap and flip it the next right after the snap, and you got these athletes on the back end, it's just going to be tough for Josh Dobbs to sift through all this, deal with the pressure, and be as accurate as he may have. When I say accurate, I mean I'm just talking about the completion percentage, but be as accurate when he's needed to throw in these tight windows. I just can't see it being a consistent thing all day.
No, it won't be. It won't be. His clock is going to speed up, and it's already pretty fast. So if that clock speeds up anymore, it's like he's going. You think about Justin Fields last week. He had a lot of guys running open, but his clock was sped up by Tampa Bay because they kept getting to him, or they were just in his face a lot. And he would pull the ball down and go to run, even though he has guys coming open. Josh Dobbs does that too, and and most running quarterbacks do that if you're able to get pressure on them early. So if we get our hands on him in the first quarter and we kind of get under his skin, I think it's going to be a long day for him.
Yeah, what did you see on film though? We'll get into the film, but I wanted to know what you saw on film in regards to the running game too, because I think that's where it's probably going to lean on. So
this will be a big test. Now, if you want to say there's a test, if this game stays close early, it's going to be because of either errant, mishaps on our end, or it'll be because we haven't really shored up those edges versus the run. Because this is an edge running team. They run traps and counter trays all day, and they're looking to get to the edges, off tackles, toss, reverses, jet motions, whatever there is in your playbook that can get you off on the edge. That's where they're going, and that's what they do. So if we're able to not block that, but shed blocks and set the edge properly,
there you go.
Then we can keep this game contained. But it's going to be a test because that's where we struggle. We all know this. We all struggled on the edges last year and years before. So we're going to see if the Cowboys really shored that up this year, because the Cardinals, that's exactly what they're attacking. So if they have a chance to beat us, or if they have a chance to make this a game, it's going to be on those edges.
Better be opposite of D-Law, because that's the guy I'm not worried about protecting the edges.
He's not playing no more.
No.
He gave us some trouble against those running quarterbacks on the edge, though, set and contain. But against the run, with the ball in the running back's hands, he don't miss that. Nah.
If a quarterback scrambles and gets, that's fine. He's scrambling for his life. If quarterback design runs, that's a different story. But attacking the edges, I saw a couple plays early in that game where I'm watching the Giants, and I look. If you're a Giants fan and you watch, and if you're a Giants player, you happen to hear this, I'm just calling how I see it. They were soft. They were really soft on those edges. And I'm sitting here watching. I'm like, hey, dog, that's not D-Law. That's not Micah. That's not Sam Williams. That's not going to be any of these guys playing. Even their linebackers were soft. And our linebackers, if you keep them clean, they're flying downhill. So I don't see them. If they're going to beat the Cowboys on the edges, it's going to be because they're more physical. And it's one of those things where, hey, show me, Akoye.
And they've adjusted too. I think Dan Quinn's biggest adjustment is he's not putting why waste Micah Parsons and D-Law on the same side of the field with Dorrance or something like that on the opposite? Why do that when you can just flip flop them, have them both on opposite sides of the field, so that now your edges are more secure? I think they did that last week against the Jets. That forced fumble was one of those plays where Dalvin Cook tried to get out on the edge and Parsons wasn't having it.
Yep.
They tried that crackback seal block and pin him inside, and he just took the tight end. He was out leveraged. He takes the tight end and pushes him back inside with one arm. He just chucks him and just goes, man. So to do all that and still be the first one to the ball, or second, I think he was, but still crazy to get to the ball that fast when you're throwing a 260-pound man inside with one hand. That's amazing. He's not, and Parsons is not the biggest guy, so that's amazing to me. I think that was the biggest adjustment that I saw, though, is that they started to separate those two instead of putting Parsons and D-Law on the same size. They're moving Parsons all over the place, so you can't pin him anywhere.
Yeah, he's not. And the weird thing to say, with him moving all over the place, it's not necessarily that he's playing a whole bunch of off-ball linebacker. I think he's
Right.
moving all over the place across the line of scrimmage. That's the difference this year.
Yeah.
So if you go look at the general box box score, you'll see Micah Parsons like 80% on the defensive line. But the difference is he might be lined up in the B gap. He might be lined up in the A gap over the center. He might be lined up left defensive end, right defensive end, standing up as an off-ball linebacker, then coming down and being on. He is moved around differently this year than even this first year when he played a lot of off-ball linebackers. So and McCarthy talked about it, bro. He said, if Mike could play one side, we can easily defend that. I can, as an offensive coordinator, I can game plan against that. You can't game plan against Micah because you have no idea where he's lining up.
That's amazing to say because when you think about it, like there are game wreckers who are on one side of the field, like TJ or like Khalil Mack. These guys will wreck a game from just one spot. But when you take that element and then they have that versatility to be able to move all over the place, that takes Micah to a different level, in my opinion. And then we already know he can run like a deer in cover too. So if he needs to drop back into some of those hot zones or hot reads or whatever, he can do that. And that's something that a lot of those other guys can't do. I think TJ can do that a little bit too, but it's just a different element to their game. Like I think that Micah Parsons is a once in a generation type player because of that.
Yeah, man. Hey, you ready to jump into this film room though?
Oh yeah, I'm born ready, man. Let's go.
Let's do it, man.
Let's
Cowboys defense against this Cardinals offense. We're going to see what Akoye sees on the tape. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Well, first thing first, we already talked about James Conner, and some of his attributes, some of the things I like about him. He's extremely hard to bring down. If you guys see this slow up, every time there's about to be an action like this trap block that's coming across with this tight end, it'll slow up when they get to those moments. That's not the video chopping up, but you can see here, like when you get your hands on him and you think you got him, he doesn't stop his feet. He just shoves guys right out of the way and still just keeps pushing the pile. And this guy's, he gets like 5-6 more yards out of that. But he's extremely hard to bring down. And then they like to get him in space where he's out on those edges. And as I said earlier, this will be the test. When he gets out on the edge, he's not dealing with 350-pound tackles. He's dealing with linebackers and safeties. I think for us, we have guys that can hit. And if we're holding a guy like this up and hitting him, I think that bodes well for us. But it will be a test because, as you said, the Giants were pretty soft out there on the edges. They didn't seal correctly, and they gave him plenty of opportunities to do this, man. And he looked good doing it. And this is why they got out to an early lead, because Conner was really just putting his hat on guys and making them feel it. He made it a physical game early, and they'll do the same with us. We already know how to stop it. I mean, Washington did a good job fanning out. They mugged everybody to the line of scrimmage and just contained them and then let everything inside, like deal with it, him and, the rest of those guys. And we just talked about this play. What we started doing was flip-flopping with Micah Parsons and D Law and whomever we have on that opposite end. But moving Parsons to the outside here, you saw what he did. He just threw that tight end out of the way, forces a fumble. If he doesn't get touched, this is a touchdown. So, I think that it'll be a test to see if this was like a flash play, or that's that guy right there. But is it a flash play, or is it something that we can sustain? Let's get into the pass game, though. And as I said earlier, some of the things that'll make you laugh or make you cry when it comes to Josh Dobbs or Villanueva. I don't know which one that is. But when he throws the ball, he'll see you covered. He doesn't care. He throws guys open, which is good. He throw back shoulders, which is good. But he'll still launch it in there. And we'll get to those tight window throws in a second. Again, he can run though. So it'll still pressure those edges and put stress on those guys outside. Just have to be patient. If you're patient on the outside, on the edges, you have a chance to shut this type of stuff down. But he's a dynamic runner when you're too aggressive out there. So guys like Sam Williams, who like to just come straight down there, Dorrance Armstrong, they fly off the ball. That's great, but it's great in third down situations. They'll have to be patient to deal with Joshua Dobbs out there when it comes to the run game. They run a lot of sail concepts and mesh rail concepts. Now, when you look at this sail concept, what it does is stresses out cover 3 and cover 1. They're in zone right now in cover 3. The Giants are. what it's going to do is going to pull that linebacker or that nickel back down into the flat to have to cover that running back. And then I don't know what receiver that is on the outside. I think that's Hollywood Brown. But his job is to run that safety and that corner off to create space underneath. The safety does a good job of recognizing it and driving on this play, but it was still a little too late, right there for him to break up that pass. So this is what they like to do. They do this both sides of the ball. They'll flip it and do it on the opposite side as well. And they do it play in, play out. If they're not doing that, they're isolating Ertz, not Hurts, Ertz. They're isolating Ertz, but you can see same concept, opposite side of the field. They run those cell concepts all day, and this is a good concept for not only cover 1 and cover 3, but also a one-read quarterback, a guy who can't read the whole field. So if I only can see one side of the field, I need to bring all the routes to his eyes. And as you can see, he made that one read. Now he's not reading anymore because you see Ertz is opening up in the middle of the field. He had that, right? Yeah. He just takes off, and now he still makes the completion, and people who look at the stats and say great completion. But if you're an offensive coordinator in the film room watching this after the week, he knows that you didn't go through your progression and hit Ertz where you should have.
Before you go to this next one here, that's interesting that you bring up that scheme or that concept, because early in the game they actually played off of that. They rolled, or they sent, I think it was Zach Ertz on an out and up. So he faked that cell concept and then went up the field and got wide open, but Joshua Dobbs missed him.
He got hit on the end of that play. Yeah, I saw that. And that's again, how they stress out that cover 3, because that corner out there has deep thirds, and if that wide receiver runs him out of there, and that tight end, that same play that we just showed, that tight end makes that run that post route and then goes up, there's nobody there. That safety either has to get over the top, or that corner has to now release his guy that's cutting into the middle of the field and try to get over top of that. So that's very difficult to do. So that's a good eye too, Scott, that you saw that. But that's very difficult. But you see here, he's reading the X receiver. He doesn't even see Hollywood Brown coming across on this rub, which is wide open. And people will say, hey, great play by Dobbs. This is what we call hero ball around here, though, because even though he scores a touchdown on this play, this is not how this play was designed. And you can see it. That rub route cleared. Hollywood Brown is open. I don't know if he sees it or not, but he feels that clock go off and he just takes off. He takes off. He scores on this play. But like I said, if he's doing this primarily throughout the game, this is not what they want him to be doing. They want him to be hitting those open guys and moving the chains consistently, and because he's not going to run 30 yards consistently all season and stay healthy, especially playing teams like us. This secondary, because of the things that he does with his eyes and because of some of the things he likes to do, they're going to have a field day this game, I believe. I think this is going to be another high turnover game for us, and I don't think it's going to be close. As you can see here, although this corner or safety, I think it's a safety, I don't really know. I can't see his number, but he bails this guy out. He bails Ertz out with this pass interference. He didn't need to, because this was going to be an interception either way, because Dobbs has pressure in his face. And when he has pressure in his face, you actually mentioned it. You said you went back to the Washington game and watched the pressure there. But here they actually get pressure in his face. And when they do, you're supposed to either pull this ball down, slide in the pocket, move, or throw it away if you can. But what he's doing here is he just throws it anyway, as if but he can't see this safety that's on the right side. It's right behind where this defensive tackle is jumping. He can't see him. I paused it there. That wasn't a jump. So he can't see that safety. That would have been an interception if they didn't pass interference there. They got that one back because of the pass interference, but they didn't need it. And if you don't believe that that's how he is, that wasn't a fluke. Like here, he's not reading the coverage. He sees, hey, he knows where he wants to go with the ball. He wants to go to Hollywood, right? Top of the screen, this is stack coverage. That corner is on top of this route. He doesn't have any separation, and he hasn't, and that receiver hasn't eaten up his cushion at all. So to throw this ball anyway, right here, this is what you're looking at. To throw that ball anyway is kind of crazy. So if he's doing this type of stuff against Gilly, and he dropped that when he was about 50 push-ups. But if he's doing this type of stuff against Gilly and Diggs, it's going to be a long day, man. And I put some clips in here just to show what those guys were doing. This is Diggs out here, no help over the top against Garrett Wilson. Nobody kind of pointed that out, but that was very impressive. He's in press man. He wasn't playing off. He's playing press man against Garrett Wilson. No help over the top at all. You know what I mean? So He gets beat here though. I gave Garrett his credit, but Hooker saves him. You know what I mean? So these type of plays where Dobbs is just like launching it up there, it's going to be good for us because he's not shy about it, and I think that's gonna play into our hands. You see here, and when he gets pressure in his face, he just rushes his throws. You can't throw the ball blind like that against the Cowboys. Like they have too many ball hawks that are looking for that type of stuff. And then when he's not pressured and he actually can see what he's throwing at, he's a tight window thrower. He's not afraid to put that ball in there. Look on that slant right there. Like imagine Diggs on those type of routes.
Yeah,
like,
okay. Play if you want.
You don't want to do that type of stuff against Diggs or Gilly, and they're all going to be tight window because just even though some of these are pass interferences on Gilly, but look at the type of space you don't have to get that ball in there when you're throwing against it. So for him to do that against us is going to be a problem for him, man. He has no problem doing it. Like you see, nobody has separation here, and he's still launching that ball in there. He does not care. That's not going to help him against us at all. That's actually going to help us. Once again, here I think this is another tight window throw, come stop route. Like this type of stuff is going to wind up being interceptions in our hands, and that's why I said when I looked at him in the film, I said their scheme is okay. I like their scheme, similar to what you said, but I think the way he executes and how he rushes these throws, it's a wonder that he hasn't turned the ball over a hell of a lot. But I think that's going to change when he plays us because he rushes these throws. He's just been getting away with it because they've been dropping interceptions or just batting the ball down, and he lives to fight another day. But
yeah, Washington and New York are not notorious for turning the ball or for creating turnovers.
There you go. There you go. And this is my most favorable matchup, though. It would be those safeties, namely J-Rock Curse against Ertz, because Ertz is a security blanket. He loves to throw the ball to Ertz. He goes to, I think Ertz has 6 receptions, but he probably had about 12 targets that I can count on the film. Like he just throws the ball at him.
He's their leading receiver on the season so far.
Yeah, and that's what we brought Curse in there to do. Him and I think Wanye Thomas. They'll have a field day with this type of stuff because they're great cover safeties. And like I said, these are a lot of opportunities that Washington and the Giants just dropped or just fudged. But these should all be interceptions, man. These are interceptions, right? And I can't wait to see him try this type of stuff against us. This is Curse's interception here. This is how smart he is. He knows like that running back's not going anywhere. I'm gonna just float and use my height and get up under this route. He baited him into throwing that. He knew that he was gonna do that. And he just waits for it, and it made it look easier than it was. But that was all just IQ right there. IQ and then using his length to get underneath that route and make that interception. So it's not gonna be easy for him, man. Us up front versus Dobbs, man, the same thing. You see those fumbles there, but us up front versus Dobbs is gonna be, I think, the thing that creates the speed in that clock. And once his clock speeds up, he's going to throw the ball right to us, man. So as I said earlier, and as I said in that title, we bet not lose to this dude, man. I swear we bet not lose to this dude. But yeah, that
crazy.
he better not lose the buddy, man. He better not.
Yo, why you do that, man?
We better not lose the buddy, man. I swear.
Hey, his barber wrong.
And if he beat us, I'm gonna give him all the credit in the world. I'll eat crow and all that, man, because I'm like, this boy better not beat us.
Hey, yo, he could fit like
he one of them
3
boys
pair
though,
of glasses.
because he was a good athlete, so he one of them boys you see on the court, and we be like, oh yeah, I'm guarding him. Then he wound up grinding you up, man.
Right.
He dunking on you.
I'll do the rest of the show with this on the screen, bro. God, man, Akoye Media, man, with the film breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen,
crazy, man. Better not lose the buddy.
Oh, you wild boy. Hey, look. So at the end of that, you were talking about the offensive line, the pressure, what have you on him,
right?
And each week, I used to do this segment, and I'm gonna bring it back called "Mouse in the House." So I try to look for the mouse in the house, and
you targeting?
We talk about ball a lot, right? Me and you both equate, or we have some comparisons about basketball, football. Mouse in the house. If you don't know what that is let's, for instance, say I get it set on screen, I switch, and I'm now on fucking Shaq. Mouse in the house. You know what I'm saying? Dump the ball down. Yeah. And I was looking on their offensive line, and their left guard, Elijah Wilkinson. is the mouse in the house on this offensive line. I think they have Hernandez. He's a tough kid, but tough guy.
Right.
But Elijah Wilkinson has given up 6 pressures already and a sack on the season, and he's going to be dealing with a guy who has stepped up his game, Oso Digizua.
That's why I put him in there, man.
Yeah, Osa, Amazi, Hankins, and then Micah too. Like Micah's going to be blitzing over top of him. So if I was coach, which I'm sure he's watching this, Elijah Wilkinson is who I'm attacking, because if you're getting pressure in the middle, you're going to force some of them errant throws on Joshua Dobbs. You wrong, bro.
Hey, you guys.
Stop.
Crazy.
Stop. We still are making sure we still alive here. We getting through things. If we'd have got cut, I promise you it would have been because of that. I promise you it would have been because of that. But, yo, hold on. He still got it up, y'all. Hold on. Look at this, man.
I got to stop looking at it, man.
If you just jumped up in here, fam.
Yo, man.
What do you tell you? Like, if you a barber, you got to be honest. You got to be honest.
If I was a barber, I would tell him, yo, you got to cut this off.
But let that go.
It's good that he went with that, though. I think somebody had to get to him before he made it to the league, because he been bald since he got in the league. So somebody gave him that advice. Like, bro, you can't be on national TV with that joint on your head, bro. You
know how back in the day, we used to always get a 1. Right. It didn't matter how you 6, 7, 8 years old. Just give him a 1. Just cut it all down. Right.
Yeah.
And then your friends or your peoples, your uncle, your cousin smack you upside the back of your head.
Yeah. You getting slapped in the back of the head all day.
But you getting slapped in the front of your head with this kind of frame.
Oh, right. Right.
Golly. You wild boy, man. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do something different with this Akoye Wednesday here. If you got questions. Drop them in the chat, and we'll try to get kind of a rapid fire of questions answered with y'all, man. All right, we get. What hashtag should we use? Let's see. Just hashtag Akoye. All right, hashtag Akoye. That way I can find it. Hashtag Akoye. Drop your questions, and we'll do some rapid fire questions here. Sir Lawrence said, "Is that a real photo?"
Oh no, that's I went through like 6 or 7 of them, just saying like, okay, this can't be real. And it get worse though. He got one where he got a, you know how I put the part right here?
Yeah.
He got one with the part coming from the middle of the head, you know, where his headline started. He got the little curl part, man. I'm like, damn, buddy,
somebody
you
gave him a design.
He drawing attention to it too. Like, man, crazy. I said, that is crazy. I thought it was fake too, bro. I was like, it got to be fake. That's really Buddy Head. That's really how he looked. Yeah.
Hell no, that wasn't me at all, boy. I always had a fresh lineup. Stop playing with me. One time I didn't know. One time, my pops. There's this picture of me and my fam, and I'm like, yo, why he do me like that? Why he do me like that? But I'll be damned, as my guy Vach would say. No, sir. Marcus Rowe, Akoye, how much will Hankins play? I'm guessing is what he say.
I mean, Hankins is gonna play as much as I think Hankins is a 20 to 25 snap guy, no matter how you look at it. And then they spell him with Mozzie and an array of other guys like Nev, depending on the package or down. If it's third down, if we get in a lot of passing situations, you probably won't see him out there if we're up in the second half. We don't really need him in there. Yeah. So you probably don't see him a lot in the second half if we're up. But if it's a close game, you're gonna see him a lot. Both him and Mozzie.
That's what happened last week. Mozzie, I think, had 11 snaps. Hankins had 10. Neville had 13. The defensive tackles that are primarily there that aren't, pass rush guys, they didn't play a lot because they didn't run a lot. So this could be a game, though. Where eventually, Akoye, we're going to run into a team who says, screw it. We're just going to run the ball and we'll figure this out. Now, once we get down 20, maybe we'll switch it up. But maybe this is a James Conner game. And if that's the case, I think we'll see Hankins for 20 snaps.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely a James Conner game. But it doesn't matter if Hankins is there anyway. They don't run in the middle of the field. Like they use those edges to kind of negate whoever you have in the middle anyway. Unless they're cutting it back, that's when Hankins will get some action. Or sometimes they'll run those little traps in the middle of the field that you'll get some action. But even those trap blocks are designed to kick out those defensive ends. So they attack your defensive ends in their run game. So that's who's really going to get stressed out. Well, who you should be looking at matchup wise, or sub package wise, is guys like Fowler. See how well they hold the edge when they're in there. Armstrong, who's notorious for not being able to set the edge. Sam Williams, who can set the edge. He has the strength to do it, and he has the background because he was a 3-down lineman. He just flies upfield. He's a reckless guy. So It'll be good to watch to see how patient they can be. I think Parsons and D Law got it though, but I want to see how patient the rest of those guys can be because they're gonna have to be. Otherwise, you're gonna make them look good.
Shouts out to the other GOAT in the building here, Law Nation.
Are you not entertained?
We got Law
My
Nation.
God.
Are you not
Salute.
entertained?
Law said, I remember Jerry Rice didn't want to let it go. He had some braids in the back. Hey, dog, you just gotta let it go.
It wasn't that bad though, Jerry. Jerry wasn't that bad. That's bad. Like that's like meme bad. You don't even. He's a meme. His regular pictures are memes. You don't even need to do nothing to the picture. You just put it out there.
Now we talking Cowboys defense today, but Tony Snow said, Akoye, how do you think, or who do you think will be the bigger bully, Micah or CD? Because we got favorable matchup on the other side. We could have did Cardinals defense today, and there's some good things on that side too.
Yeah.
But I was saving that for tomorrow. But
yeah, they got some young guys out there playing corner, and I forget the kid's name. He was like a 6th-round draft pick, but they got some young guys out there playing corner. I think CD is going to have a great game, but even if he does, it's going to be because Micah Parsons and those guys are giving him the ball back and giving him more opportunities. So the better Micah plays, unfortunately, the better CD is going to play. So CD might statistically look like the bigger bully when it's all said and done. Who knows? He might put up 170 on these guys, but it's going to be because those guys are giving him the ball back and giving him ample opportunity to do so. So I still say causality is what's most important, and the cause of all that will be Micah Parsons. So I say Micah Parsons.
It wouldn't shock me if this was another 70+ play game. I just can't see the Cardinals.
Yeah, we're gonna try to hold on to the ball, keep them off the field for sure.
Tyrone dropped one. He said, "How you feel about the linebacker play? Does Wilson make us better or the same?" Interesting. Definitely makes us better, I think. But
Wilson definitely makes us better. Of course, you can't say Dono doesn't make you better, but it still doesn't solve the linebacker problem. I'd like to see Clark take a step forward. I think Clark right now is he's kind of getting outshined by Bell at linebacker, which is not good. You know what I mean? If you're Clark,
he had more snaps than him in that game, bro.
Right. I haven't seen him step up and just, Wanye is not on this team or on this roster because, they like him. He's on the roster because he took it. He stepped up and just took the opportunities. And Clark has to do that. So the linebacker room right now, to me, those that are really linebackers, not Bell. Bell's not a linebacker.
Not the safeties, yeah.
Yeah, the linebacker room right now is flat. They're playing flat. I think LV is what he is. He's a guy that can get everybody lined up, can make some plays when he guesses correctly the first time. But if you're asking him to change direction, read and react, it's not the reading part that's the problem. It's the switching and reacting, instinctively. That's the problem because he just changes directions too slow. So he's flat there. He made a big hit though. I like that hit he put on.
I saw you on Twitter. He was hype about that.
Yeah, I was like, there you go. But get him off of the spot because he can't, play in space like that. And Clark is looking similar. Honestly, he's jumping into the wrong gaps and he has great speed, but he's flying in the wrong direction in most cases. So I think they're coming along. With this type of defensive line up front. They have no choice but to get better because there's a reason we can play safeties at linebacker, and that's because nobody's touching the linebackers. Yeah, so they'll have to get better. If you have that much space and room to work, they're going to get better. But right now, if you have to say there's a weak link, if you want to call it weak on this team, it's linebacker.
Yeah, well, the linebacker coming into the season, no matter what, unless you went out and got Bobby Wagner, was going to be the like you say, I hate to say weak link, but it's the lesser of the defense because the defense is so deep in the back end and so talented, so deep on the front end and so talented. Not necessarily the case at linebacker, right?
Right.
I equate it to the tight ends on the other side, where the tight ends are not a feature part of the offense. They're just part of the offense. The linebackers aren't a feature part of this defense. The safeties are. The ends are, right? The corners are. They're just a part of the defense. You just need them not to F up. You just need them to make sure they're doing their jobs and not being a liability out there. And to be frank, they just haven't been tested, right? Like we 8 rushes between the running backs last week. Week 1, they stopped running the ball after the first series. At some point, right? At some point, teams are going to be like, all right, we not about to be out here for 40 minutes on our defense.
You actually that actually gives them more grace than anything what you just said, because I didn't even factor that in. Our linebackers aren't our coverage guys. You know what I mean? In coverage, they're just out there, kind of. You know what I mean? They get a play, but they're really there for the run, and they haven't had to really deal with the run. So Hankins, Mozzie, those linebackers, you're not going to see those guys shine until you play a team.
There you go.
That really try to run the ball. So that's actually a good point. It's less about what they're not doing and more about what they don't have to do.
That's exactly how I see it these first 2 weeks, especially last week. I don't think it's a coincidence. Mozzie, Hankins, Neville, Clark all played less snaps because they only ran the ball with their running backs 8 times. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Those are the players you want out there in the run game. LVE is not going to come off the field and only play 13 snaps because LVE does all the quarterbacking and calls the plays. So he's not going to be the guy that comes off the field. It's going to be Clark. It's going to be the run guys. But I think the real litmus test will come whenever a team decides to be a run-heavy offense against us, and then we can say, okay, how did you do for these 45 plays that you were out there?
Exactly.
And we'll be able to judge a little bit. But it's hard to judge off of 13 plays up 30 to 10.
You can't get 10 tackles in 10 plays.
Nah, I mean, unless you Luke Kuechly or Sean Lee, it's pretty hard to do. But what I love about it, though, is because I can give a damn about statistics this year. I'm kind of off of that. We've dealt with this. We talk about this a lot offensively.
Well, with the Cowboys, you got to take that out because statistics they'll use statistics for or against you in the media right now. So if you're paying attention to statistics, you kind of out there.
And let me rephrase here because there's certain stats. I talk about pillar stats. I talk about important stats. Like there's certain stats that are important, but like individual stats, I really can give a damn about. That's why I don't do like bold prediction of stats and stuff like that because just do your job, right? But what I love is that nobody is like, for instance, Clark could have been being and moaning about wanting to be out there, but we've got the personnel to say, okay, y'all want to throw the ball? Cool. We'll bring in our six DBs who, you want to try to run the ball out of this throwing formation. Well, Marquise Bell is going to beat your guard, right? Marquise Bell is going to beat your wide receiver, or Wanye Thomas has that speed to come downhill. Like we still can quasi defend the run out of your alternate, personnel package. So if you want to come out in 4 wide or 11 personnel shotgun and try to run, we can still deal with it, because Osa's getting up there. D-Law is still getting busy. Mike is still there. So it takes some pressure off of that lighter package. Whereas if you do want to come heavy, that's where you'll see come out there heavy. Oh, wow. Pause. Because they'll that's how they do. That's how they do me. So
you gotta get it. I caught it too. I was like, I was gonna let you have it. I was I'm glad he caught that.
Nah, they wild like that, bro.
I love this chat box. Y'all chat room crazy, man.
It's crazy.
Every time I'm on here, I try not to look over there because they crazy, man. You don't know what they gonna say, man. They crazy over there.
Man, they wild, bro. They wild. But you get what I'm saying, right? If you come out and you have this heavy personnel set, you have those linebackers out there, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
And the other thing you guys got to pay attention to, just like if you have like a Ezekiel Elliott type of back, a bell cow back, you want to save him for later in the year. It works the same way on the opposite side of the ball. You don't want your defensive tackles in there getting cut blocked or beat up when they have to do all that heavy lifting, taking on double teams. You want them ready for December because, those 17 games count. So you definitely want them ready and fresh the second half of the season. So you actually should be happy that they're not on the field having to take that punishment so early. If they were needed, they're needed, but they're not going to hit that midseason wall at all. None of them if they're not in there. So that's actually a good thing.
Yeah. Trying to get some more here. Tyrone asked another one. Your thoughts on Mozzie first couple games? You wanted to know?
Mozzie, it's like the same explanation. I think Mozzie will shine when you have a guy that our team that's trying to run against him. Pass rush wise, he's probably a year away from actually giving you any type of great rep. Like if he gets pass rushes or he gets any sacks, it'll be because somebody kind of like chased him into him right now, because his get off right now is slow. Like Mozzie's not getting off the ball, and I'm just being honest. Like he's not getting off the ball extremely fast, but he's only in there in situations where he's not supposed to anyway. Like he's not in there in pass rush situations. He's in there in run situations where he's playing parallel. Both his feet are lined up parallel to each other. He's not firing off the ball when he does that. He's just there to soak up double teams and stop the run. So, and that's runs up the middle as well. So those runs to the edges as well, you might see in this game, he probably will be in there a little bit more and hopefully you'll see him flowing over the top of those plays and making some more tackles for you. But right now, he's giving you what I thought he would give you, which is great run support coming out of college. But as he develops later on in the season, we might see more. But I think he's going to need an offseason of actually like focusing on getting off the ball. And also, he's so strong. He tried to use strength so much. And this is what I see on film with him. And I'll do some film on it after we get probably 4 games in when we got enough of it to look at.
Right.
But he's a defensive holder. That's what they asked him to do. It's a lot like what Carlos Watkins. You ever notice that Carlos Watkins was getting defensive holding calls last season? And the reason he was getting those is because that's what Quinn asked those guys to do. He wants you to hold up those double teams, right? So he's so used to doing that when it comes to a pass rush situation, he grips up the guard or the center that's trying to block him. And instead of just using his hands to get rid of him, he has slow hands. And I don't think it's because he's slow with his hands. I think it's because he's so used to using his strength to hold on to guys and shed them and get rid of them. He doesn't do it as fast because he's so used to playing run. So I think those are the things that he's going to work on, not only throughout the rest of this season, but also next season as well. He's going to work on making sure his hands are faster and getting off the ball a little quicker. But with all that said, I like what I see in Mozzie right now. I don't have a complaint.
Yeah, it's interesting. He doesn't get a lot of snaps, but he has a splash play here and there that doesn't result in a box score stat. Right?
Well,
like he'll get a pressure or throw a guard down.
You just said it. You just said it. I'm glad you said that because I wasn't even going to give him his credit for this one. But that second sack that Micah Parsons got on a screenplay was because Mozzie took the running back and just threw him.
It's not going to show up in the stat though.
Yeah, you're not going to get credit for that. But Parsons doesn't have anybody to sack if Mozzie doesn't read that play.
Yeah.
So Mozzie's been pretty smart with those. Like he read that and then just threw the running back into the guard, and there was nothing to do over there. Wilson had to hold the ball because there was nowhere to go with it because Mozzie read the entire play.
Yeah, I just think he's in a perfect situation, whatever you want to call it, to just get better methodically. You know, there's no pressure on Mozzie Smith to go out there and have to be a dominant defensive tackle from day one. He can continue to learn, study his film. And by the time you get to week 10 or 11, I think you'll see midseason form Mozzie Smith. And here's a cool thing, bro. If you remember when we brought in Osa and all these other guys, even Neville, I think, had to do this. Yeah. They had to get thrown out there early and play a whole lot, and then they hit that wall. They hit that brick wall early in their career in their rookie season, and it was like, now they're slowing down. If Mozzie's not having to play 25
so did Parsons.
snaps,
Parsons got that. He had that treatment too.
Parsons did, and it happens, right? These guys are not used to playing 17 games against grown men with mortgages and kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They stressing.
Right.
You know what I mean? When they hit you,
mama gotta eat.
When they hit you, there's a worry they're gonna get cut behind all that. Yeah, that's a different energy. And and Mozzie might, if he only has to play 12 to 15 to 17 snaps the first 6 to 8 games, that means you can save that wall for next year, maybe, so
right.
And you get into the postseason, you get to later in the season, and now Mozzie, if he's needed to be counted on, he's fresh and ready to go. So
he's there. So I think that's good. You're exactly right.
Yeah,
exactly right.
One more earlier, I think it was Steph Smith when I was rolling up. My bad if I got the name wrong. He said, what poison do the Cardinals pick this week? He said pick a defender. So I'm guessing he means offensively, they have to pick a poison, right? Who do they go to?
Or who do they want to target? As far as
I'd imagine.
Defensively?
It's been
when you say offensively, you mean their offense? Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing their offense,
With Dobbs, it doesn't matter. Like Dobbs, he is an indiscriminate passer. He's not the type, unless they specifically tell him shy away from a guy, he will throw the ball at anybody. So I don't think it'll be a guy on the outside, though. I think if there's a guy that they're going to target all day and attack, it'll be Curse, because Curse will be where Ertz is. So Curse and Wanye, Curse, Wanye, and Hooker will get a lot of balls in the middle of the field, but they'll get a lot of them up there because they're going to throw the ball at Ertz all day. So if you're going to see somebody get targeted, it's going to be Curse, because he's going to be guarding Ertz primarily.
Hold up. What does that mean? Professor O just dropped something in the chat, but I don't know if he's referring to the Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
Let me see here. You can't just drop that, bro. Who got the one? Like, where did 1 year deal go to? He just said Kareem Hunt 1-year deal up to $4 million. To who? Oh, to the Browns. Come on, man. I thought we brought Kareem Hunt here. Come on, I don't give a damn about that.
I was about to say, damn.
Yeah, I'm
they
about
want
to say,
power back for sure.
I'm about to say, wait a minute now. That's
that makes sense
interesting.
for the Browns though. He knows the offense. He's from there,
Yeah.
They just
my bad.
shout out to Chubb, man. That's one of those Willis McGahee type injuries, man.
Yeah, that was rough, bro.
Everything. And the rules, everybody talks about these rules as far as targeting and so on. When you start asking guys to not hit or not target the head, they're gonna target those knees, and you're gonna see a lot of that, man.
Yeah, that was nasty, man.
That's bad, man. I don't think Minka did that, intentionally.
No.
That's just horrible.
First of all, I'm not tackling him high.
Oh shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Like you said, you gotta eat, you gotta mortgage.
Eat.
You gotta play next game. You trying to put your lights out going high on him.
I think what happened on that one though, he was already being tackled or something like that, and then he came down and
he hit him low while he was planting his feet with a guy on his back. So it's like, sheesh.
That was nasty,
Crazy.
bro.
Yeah.
But all right, man. Look, appreciate y'all for jumping in here and chatting with us. Please do me a favor. Hit this like button if y'all enjoyed Akoye Wednesday. Again,
definitely hit that like button, man.
We still in preseason form, okay? We still in preseason form. This thing is going to turn into a well-oiled machine, and we're going to be straight. I think what might happen, and Akoye can let you guys know this or not, you'll take this and you'll put it on your channel too. So if y'all missed it, run it back with Akoye later on. I'll shoot that to you, Akoye. That way y'all can go run up everything over there, support the Akoye media channel, and wherever else they can find you, Akoye, let them know, bro.
You got it, man. Definitely follow me on Twitter. I'm starting to drop clips on Twitter. So for those who don't like full-fledged videos, you can find me on Twitter and TikTok if you want like the little 2-minute snippets. IG if you're into boxing or anything like tinfoil hat type stuff, man. I'm on IG. And definitely follow me on YouTube, of course. You know what I mean? Got a fight next week, too. Wish my fighters some luck, man. We going down to Tijuana. So hope that we get back in one piece, man. Because Mexico
out here,
crazy.
I gotta go with these fighters.
I got to get him up there, man. I got to get his record up there. And shout out to Hakeem Harmon, man. Get him up to 10, 15 wins. And I can go holler at Heyman and make this a little easier, man. Get some more bread in my pocket.
I'm trying to tell you. Anything with boxing, bro. If you're not following Akoye, you missing out. I don't know if you bet or whatever. But if I do decide to put some money down,
you need to put money on. If it's boxing, I ain't missed one yet. I'm not even bragging. I don't miss when it comes to boxing. My
notebook. Akoye don't miss.
I don't miss when it comes to boxing, man. Don't miss. You shout out to YSM Sports too. Like if you type in YSM Sports Media with Akoye behind it in YouTube, you'll find all of my boxing content on his channel.
Almost forgot this, and y'all to kill me if I did. Just in case there was any super chats. Let me run over here, man. Let me run over here.
Oh yeah, I ain't looking.
Fine, let me see where we at. All right, we just had Dylan. Dylan dropped one he just dropped it for the love, man. He dropped 2 of them. Appreciate you, Dylan. I'm gonna make sure that we got that, man. Appreciate all y'all, man. Bomb Squad came through today. Almost a K up in here to listen to our guys, Akoye Media.
Good, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, look, Bomb Squad showing out. Cowboys Nation showing out.
He said, Charlo or Canelo, who you got? Canelo all day, man. Charlo can't run from Canelo. He'll tire himself out. And he damn sure can't fight in the pocket with Canelo because Canelo will chop him down. So no matter what Charlo does, I don't think he has anything for Canelo. And when it comes to punching power, Canelo been in there with Triple G and Kovalev willingly. So I don't think Charlo can hurt Canelo at all.
I'm telling y'all, if y'all like the football content, the boxing is crazy. Like the boxing go crazy. I learned things there as well, man. I learned things. Anything you drop, bro, I definitely learned things. So,
oh man, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate the love too, Scott, man, for sure, man. Yeah,
Joe,
man, that's flattering because I know you know what you're talking about. I know you know what you're doing.
Hey, I try. I'm just studying.
He said,
and researching.
I coach people. I'm a professional. Tyrone said, "Do you coach?" I'm a professional boxing trainer. Like I train pro fighters right now. That's what I do, partially for a living.
Go on his Twitter. You do IG. Matter of fact, IG. Go on Koye's IG, bro, and you will see all his boxing stuff up there. He 100% is a legitimate trainer, and he's like he said he's going to Tijuana. So
we're going to Tijuana next week. Yeah, we're going to Tijuana next week on the 29th. We got a fight in Tijuana. Shout out to Hakeem Hawk Harmon. Yeah, but we winning, definitely.
Joe, Hunter, and everybody else in Cowboys Nation want to know when we get in the round table pops, bro.
Oh man, I'm always ready for the round table, man. That they be classics every year. So I think after like week 4, we probably got to do it. You know what I mean? Somewhere in there, or it will probably be good, like right before that 49ers game. Even though I would say right after the 49ers
Come on,
game.
man.
I don't
You
like
know how I
doing
feel.
round tables before big games.
Me
man.
neither. I tried to
like
tell y'all that.
I like doing. Yeah, you the reason. I like you reminded me of it. So I like doing after those big games. Let's do it, but not before, man. So let's do it right after that 49ers game.
I tell people all the time, y'all got to ask Vach. Vach puts these things together. So y'all don't understand how well he does this when we do these roundtables. Usually I'm mediating or something in regards to these type of things, but Vach is low-key an elite mediator when it comes to these roundtables. So whenever Vach is ready to put the roundtable together, I'll get it all behind the scenes and
I'm
figure it out.
gonna text him and tell him let's get it. Yeah, but definitely, I'm definitely gonna say
let's get it, but let's get it after the 49ers game.
Yeah, after the 49ers game for sure. I don't want
we like
or the bye week, but I don't want no smoke.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't want no smoke before that.
Nah, man. We like 0-3 when we do these damn roundtables and then play.
Yeah. I think we taking too much of our bandwidth and our mojo and putting it to the roundtable on those weeks, man. Yeah. I be feeling like, you ever feel like if you ain't watching the game, that's the reason they not playing well, because you ain't witnessing it. You know, you gotta be there watching it.
I'm 100% stitious, bro.
I think like that. Like I gotta be watching. Are they not gonna play right?
My brother, he will attest to this if he listening. There's times where I would literally go back to an original spot I was sitting at just because I'm like, yo, we was balling over here. Yeah. Right? Like, oh, hey, I got to get to the crib. All right, I got to get to the dungeon. Shout out to my guy Lee and my bro Roy and Shona. I got to get to the dungeon. That's where we watch the games, and we was 13-3. Like, I am definitely a little stitious, so you call me crazy if you want, bro. But
I mean,
I feel like we a part of this. You know what I'm saying?
No, we 100% are a part of this, man. Like the energy is there, man. I can see a lot of the things that what you want to call it, what new media has started to do in this game, man. So we definitely a part of this, man.
Oh, we here. Sure. That's 100%. We here. Stop watching these, man. My timeline on Twitter has been going crazy with that other show that talk and the woman on that show, and I'm just like, why? Why no, listening to this one?
It's good that they talk, though. It's good that they talk the way they talk, especially
necessary evil.
Because the fact, they can't walk that back. So for our group and for our movement to grow, you need them to keep doing what they're doing. Because as they do that, they make it more and more apparent that they don't have the time to do what we do. It's already hard enough for us to do it. We focused on one team. They're looking at every team, multiple sports, so on. So they ain't got the time to dig into the film and really get that right. So when they're making hot takes on national TV, they haven't watched as much film as I have. They haven't watched as much film as you have. And it's not because they don't know film. They know it if they see it, but they don't have the time to dig into it and watch every little intricate detail. So they're making I can't say, but
you can say shit.
Making hot shit takes because they don't have the time to really look at the nuance to it, man. So that's actually a good thing for us, man. We get to dig in and do things like, and give you a clear picture as to what your team is doing and what certain players are doing, where other guys really they're just not built out to be able to do that. So, God bless them and keep receipts.
True. That's fact. We need a villain, not an anti-hero. Those are two different things. We the anti-heroes. Like we ain't trying to sell you a bag of terrible goods. We trying to sell you the real. They are the villains, and you're right. Every anti-hero needs that too. So
yeah, we need that.
All right, man. I'm gonna do what they tell me to do on here.
Push the goddamn button.
Push the goddamn button. Get up out of here, man. Akoye Media. Make sure y'all follow him. Skywalker still. Week 2 of Akoye Wednesdays. We'll be back next week. I know you'll be flying soon.
I'll be home though for the show.
All right.
I leave the 27th. I think that's a Thursday, right? Or is it a Wednesday? It's a Wednesday. I leave that night though, so I think I'm good for Wednesday. If not, then I'll let you know. We'll do a Tuesday or something like that. But I'm good for Wednesday, and I'll be back Saturday on the 30th. So I won't miss the following Wednesday either. So we're good to go.
And I'll see y'all later on Vosh Lombardi Live, and then tomorrow we'll have Patrick Nosey Walker at DallasCowboys.com jumping up in here. We out of here. Love y'all. Peace.
Yep. Peace.